All right, this is James Pelton, and welcome. I hope you guys are all having a happy Monday. Good start to your week. We are talking about Awesome Container Company today, and it's a very exciting one for me. It's not just your run of the mill, just tokenomics going on, but they're again actually solving a real world problem. And there's actually utility here. And so, again, these are the types of projects that I've been looking for. So as we're kind of waiting for people to hop on and as we're getting started, as is the normal YouTube way, please hit the like button and please start shooting some comments in. So comment for the day. We're just going to start off the week simple. Where in the world are you watching from? So again, I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska, is where I'm at, and just love that I can connect out to people from all over the world via the internet and technology. So it's just very cool to be interacting with so many people from so many different places. So hit the like button, comment where you're watching from. As we get going, if you have questions that you'd like to ask, feel free to ask those and I'll bring them up as they kind of fit into the conversation, and we'll go ahead and get started here. So can you go ahead and start off? Thank you for hopping on the channel today. I appreciate it. Could you start out by introducing yourself and give just a little bit of your background?
Yeah, my name's Hung. I'm the CEO of Awesome Container Company, ACC. Background, started out in tech. I was a database engineer at Oracle in the 90s, then just switched careers, went into food and beverage. Currently, I have a chain of restaurants throughout Asia. And then now I'm bringing it together, tech and food and beverage, to solve like the world's plastic and single-use packaging problem.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, and I do want to share the website here. The first thing that's cool is we do have a doxed team. Okay, so again, that's good to see in the space already. We have your face and we have your LinkedIn profile here, and your whole team is like that. So we had just a few couple rug pulls yesterday, and so it's always good just to see. Hey, that's not going to happen from Hung. We know where you live, so that's not going to happen from you.
Yeah,
Um,
to add to that, to add to that, we're a third company, Delaware C Corp. We also have two LLCs, one in Singapore, one in Portugal. So, and we actually went through the anti-money laundering process in Singapore and Portugal to open bank accounts. So we're totally doxxed.
okay.
Everything's public record. You could find our address. So we're not running anywhere.
Okay, yep, that's very very good to see, and it's awesome to just have a person that I'm talking with. So that is always nice. Could you start by, let's kind of go into the order that the website has it, but could you start and talk about the problem that you noticed, especially being a restaurant owner, that you kind of wanted to solve?
Yeah, I mean, being honest, the biggest culprit of creating this waste is the restaurant industry, the grocery markets, everyone. So yeah, we run restaurants throughout Asia. We see it every day. I think with food delivery being really popular these few years, it's just gotten real ridiculous, and we decided to do something about it. Yeah. So the problem we're trying to solve is just completely eliminating these plastic, not just plastic, single-use packaging like compostables, because they take up resources like trees, your trees that they kill trees, and people think it's safe, but actually the chemicals used to put the compostable containers together is actually toxic to humans. So yeah, that's what we're trying to solve.
Okay, and then what was kind of the solution that you came up with? I'm just going in the order that the website has it in, but what is? Can you kind of talk about the solution you came up with?
So solution is just it's not really just cut and dry where you just provide stainless steel containers and then where we actually save plastics. We actually have There's actually three main groups we have to satisfy in order to build a successful model. I mean, the first group is the people, the end users, the people, the restaurant customers. How do we eliminate the steps to accomplish a task where they return it back to us, where we pick up? The second is ACC, the second group. We have to be profitable. We have to have revenue streams to keep up the business. And the third one is actually our business partners, the restaurants, bars, grocery stores. How do they benefit from it? How do we save them money? and they really don't care about saving the environment. It's just how can we make it work for them, business wise and money wise. So to solve the issue, we have to address these three main groups and make it beneficial to them.
Yeah, no, that I totally agree. That's for solutions to work, it can't be inconvenient for any of the members involved, or else they just won't go along with it. And I think you're right too. A sad reality is that just saving the environment by itself is not doesn't seem to be enough of a pull for most people. There has to be the finances have to work out. Money's still kind of the king in a lot of these areas. Um,
Yeah.
Now, is this mainly intended for like takeout or in restaurant, or what single use packaging are you getting rid of exactly?
First, we want to address the food delivery business and also the takeout customers, restaurants. So our solution is we provide the stainless steel reusable containers to the restaurants. So we're only business to business. We don't really. The only interaction we have with the end user is we actually pick up the containers from their house or office when they request it. So containers are what you see in the front end, but we are really our business model is we're a back end supply chain logistics company for our business partners.
Okay, yeah, this is
Yeah,
super fascinating.
N-
So go ahead. Did you have something you
yeah.
wanted to
So
add?
the user journey is the first. If you could scroll back, yeah, if you could scroll, yeah, yeah, that's the user journey. The first restaurants on board on our app, and after that, they don't have to worry about anything. I mean, we take care of everything. We actually deliver the containers to them. After that, uh, they just deliver as usual with Uber Eats or any delivery platform they have. Uh, the containers go to their customers, and after the customers finish eating, all they do is scan a QR code and request a pickup and put their actually come pick it up. After we pick it up, we bring it to our washing facility, and we return it to the restaurants. Just creating a circular ecosystem that currently doesn't exist right now.
Okay, very cool. And again, just want to remind people if you're just hopping on, we got a lot of new people that just hopped on. And go ahead and hit the like button. If you're watching this as a replay too, go ahead and hit the like button. And the comment question is where you're watching from. So go ahead and let us know that. And if you have questions that you'd like to ask for Hung, go ahead and ask, and we'll get those answered as well. And can we go on to this? Can you talk about financially how this helps the businesses, and then can you talk about the incentive for users to go along with this as well?
Yeah, with our platform, full platform, restaurants actually save 50% compared to using the plastic and compostable containers. The reason why is they don't have to do inventory management. The managers don't have to restock, so they actually save about 30 to 50 hours a month on the manager's labor because we take care of all that. We take care of all the inventory. We take care of the stocking, restocking. Um, and a big one is restaurants don't have to rent extra real estate, and real estate is probably the most expensive thing that a restaurant can. That's probably the biggest cost, real estate. So that totally eliminates them from actually renting extra storage space just to store these containers. Just real use cases. My restaurants in Asia, I pay about $2,000 per month just on storage fees just to store these containers, and that's each store. So that actually cuts like 500 to thousands of dollars depending on how big your restaurants are. So that's a very good incentive for them. And also, if the restaurant chooses to use our containers at their restaurants to dine in, they don't even have to wash the dishes. Which no dishwashing. They save water costs. They save dishwasher labor also. So that's the benefit of using ours.
Okay, very cool. And then I noticed you mentioned government subsidies. Have you found that most governments have some kind of subsidy in place? Does the U.S. do anything, or which countries in particular?
The US, not currently. That's why we are launching in Singapore. The Singapore government has a Singapore Green Plan, which they subsidize 70% of our fees to any company that is trying to go the sustainable route. So essentially, the restaurants and the bars, they're getting a 70% discount if they go with us, and we actually handle all the paperwork for that also.
Okay, very cool. So that's not up to the restaurant user doesn't have to the restaurant owner doesn't have to figure out those subsidies. You kind of guide them through that and help them
Yeah.
through that. So very
Well, we
cool.
try to yeah, we try to make it easy for our business partners, and not just that, the users. I mean, we wanna the users don't have to wash the dishes. All you do is after you finish eating, just request a pickup, and when your pickup time comes, just leave the packaging out at your door. You don't even have to see us. You just leave it outside, and then we'll just pick it up. We won't
O-
even bother you.
Okay, very cool. And then can you talk about the gamification, the reward for return customers?
Yeah, that goes into marketing. So we're gonna have a lot of marketing for companies that want to market with us. So we ask, let's say, for instance, Coca-Cola. We ask them to give us free products uh, as their marketing budget, and then we actually use those products as rewards for our users for the amount of containers they return. And the same goes with crypto companies. I mean, if crypto projects want to advertise on our containers and packaging, the same. They give us crypto, and then we actually just pass it on to our customers as rewards for the amount of products they return to us.
Okay, very cool. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on was down here in the partners. Do you want to talk about any of these partnerships? Specifically, I didn't even realize that you were partnered with Constellation, which is one of my top projects. So that's pretty cool. But do you want to talk about any of these partnerships here?
Yeah. So let me see. Okay. So go to market strategy is once we get funded, we could actually launch in a month. Go to market and be live, be revenue generating in day one. So we're partnering with third parties, logistics company, uh, Ninja Van Clean Solutions. So they're going to take care of all our logistic needs, all our washing facility needs. So we will lean heavily on third parties in the beginning while we build our own internal in-house team of logistics, washing facility, and everything. But the idea for that is we could go to market first. We try to get to cash flow positive first, so we could just run without running out of money. Uh,
And
yeah,
then do you
and
want to do you want to talk about the partnership with Constellation too? Just what you're doing with them or what the plan is with them?
Yeah, so what we talked about so far is just probably the web to the physical, the logistics, and then now we go down to the software side. The software, all our software we wanna develop on the Constellation blockchain. Uh, so yeah, why?
Okay.
So why would we do that? For full traceability and transparency. The logistics, we could track the containers every step of the way from beginning all the way to the end of cycle, returning it to us and back to the restaurants. So at the end of the at the end, we will have like a full mapping uh, of logistics for every city we service, and eventually full logistics mapping and data of the entire blockchain per city. So that's the goal of what we're trying to do with that logistics part. We also want to do the supply chain transparency where eventually customers could scan the QR code on their containers. And let's say, for example, they ordered a chicken salad at their favorite restaurant. Just scanning the QR code, it will give them ingredients used, nutritional facts, all the way down to the farm and the lots that the chicken and veggies were produced. I mean, so we're trying to create an entire database of the food system, literally from farm to table.
Okay, very, very cool. Then I did want to bring up your white paper and a couple things that I wanted to bring up from here, and a very well done white paper, by the way. So if anybody wants to
Thank
check
you.
this out, I'll actually put a link to this as well because it's cool just to look through. But I was kind of wanting to know Yeah, what interest have you had from restaurants in this so far? So I know you're a restaurant owner, so I'm sure your restaurants will be using this. But do you want to talk about what kind of interest you've seen from restaurants and the potential you see there?
Yeah, so me and my co-founder, we've been in the industry for just together combined, it's over 45 years of experience in the food and beverage industry. So all those years we did, have a lot of partnerships and whatnot. But we took a different approach. Instead of idea fundraising, we spent a year and a half trying to acquire customers, talking to CEOs, talking to governments, refining the business model. So as a result, we were able to sign like 1,200 multi-chain companies, the contracts with them to use our platform when we launch. So we went to get the customer first, and now we're ready to fundraise to fulfill the contracts.
Okay, very cool. And I thought this was a good point too, that, especially when COVID hit, we kind of saw this big uptick in food delivery. And I think once people have discovered food delivery, I think they're wanting it more and more, just the convenience of, hey, I don't have to go. So I think we'll see this market continue to go up. Um, do you want to talk
Yeah, I
about
mean
these? No, go ahead.
that. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, what is our a total addressable market? Our market is anywhere with food delivery, restaurants, and grocery markets. So we are actually our business model works in the entire world. So we it's totally scalable anywhere.
Okay, and then yeah, I think you're totally right. And then you kind of have these Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand. Is that kind of the market you're going to start with, and then you might move into Europe and U.S. and other places?
Yeah, the reason why we chose Southeast Asia is because all our contracts, the brands are represented there. There are some in Europe, but that will be the second venture we will move into is the European market.
Okay, and then as usual, the U.S. kind of gets the last. I'm sure things come here the last. Is that kind of your plan?
Yeah, it's a little complicated with US because rising costs, adoption is not fast like the Asian market and the European market when it comes to sustainable companies like this. That's what we experienced. But
Yeah.
eventually we will come into the US market either by ourselves or with partners.
Okay, very cool. And then I thought this was interesting too. So there it looks like there's more revenue streams that you have in mind other than just selling the containers to the restaurants. Do you want to talk through some of these revenue streams?
Yeah, when we were thinking about how would this model work, just coming up with how are we going to make money, how are we going to make this business profitable because logistics business is actually it burns a lot of cash flow. uh, so yeah, we came up with the monthly subscription. It's tiered to the restaurants how much orders they get per day. I mean, that's more reasonable than just charging them like per container or whatnot. um, the second revenue stream is advertising. I mean, our containers on the side is a blank canvas. We plan to sell advertising space to companies that want to advertise with us, and I think that will be once we reach the millions of households per week. I think that our revenue stream for that alone is going to surpass our subscription model. Um, Another one is in-app advertising, where advertisers or crypto companies want to advertise in that app or use their products as marketing for rewards. That's another revenue stream from us. We charge a little fee for that also. And finally, the point of sale. I think the way we came up with that idea is since we have so much companies onboarded. I mean, why don't we just create a platform where it's like a one-stop shop? All our products are in there. Not only inventory management, the restaurants could order supplies from it, employee management, inventory management. I said that already. And then finally, they accept crypto and credit card fees. It's kind of like a point of sale payment system that integrates all our products. So yeah, the transaction fees alone, ideally, we will get a 1% fee from every single crypto and credit card transactions when we fully onboard all these kinds of contracts. So it's I think this will be a really substantial revenue stream for us also. And
Okay.
also, the subscription fees alone, it will actually get us to cash flow positive and profitable. The advertising, the POS, that's extra cash flow for us.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, that this makes me excited just to see all these revenue streams. Again, that's what we're looking for. Can we before we talk about how people can get involved and invest, can you talk a little bit about the roadmap of when you're kind of planning that, oh, hey, we think we'll have the investment we need by this date, and then we'll start on this date. Do you have any dates available for us?
Ideally, we want to close in a month or so. If not, then we could go 2 months. We want to start with the $1 million ask. With the $1 million, we could onboard the first 100 companies, and within 6 months, we could be cash flow positive and profitable at 8 months. So you're gonna investors gonna expect ROI within a year, and the quarterly dividends is gonna be the quarter after, the first quarter after the year.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Yeah. And so let's go over to how people can invest. So if you go to the website and click invest, do you want to just talk about? So this, it's not, it's structured more like a venture capital deal, that in traditional finance than it is most of the crypto stuff that we're used to. So can you maybe explain how the investment's going to work and yeah, how dividends are going to work and maybe walk people through that a little bit?
Yeah, so what we're offering for investment in our company is we actually are offering equity shares. So you do get ownership of the company. So this is an equities play. So everything needs to be done in compliance and regulations. We're using Fairmint platform. They act as a broker for us between the investor and ACC. So they make sure that everything's up to compliance and up to regulations. Uh, that's yeah, it's kind of like a VC model. Our fund is actually going to be a rolling safe fund. What that means is the fund just keeps rolling. What's beneficial about that is we the first investors actually do not get diluted from the last investors coming in. Like for example, like a whale or a VC comes in at the end, they throw in a bunch of money and say the first investors needs to invest more just to keep their shares or get diluted. But with a rolling safe, that doesn't happen. They can't do that.
Okay. And then we do have some comments from the audience. First off, Hootie says killer company, really like them. So he's been following you and likes what you're doing. One question, are you in Singapore? Is it it's the middle of the night there? Is that correct?
Uh, I'm current. I'm currently in California right now. I'm not in Singapore, but yeah, it's in the mornings in Singapore.
Okay, good. Yeah, that would be don't want anybody staying up in the middle of the night to do that. So if
Yeah.
people want to invest, if you're in the US, you're going to have to be an accredited investor. Is that correct?
No, it's open to everything. Everybody, non-accredited or accredited. The only difference is accredited investors, they could just flow through the process really fast, really easy. Non-accredited, we have to group them into a crowdfunding regulation. So everyone puts their email in. If they're non-accredited, we have to wait till everyone's in, and when we're ready to close, we submit a crowdfunding regulations to the SEC, and we raise that way. It's kind of
Okay.
like a Kickstarter kind of thing.
Okay, gotcha. So you just need, if you want to invest, you just need to go to this page, and I'll put a link to that page as well. Just click invest now. You can watch that presentation, which is really the white paper. You just choose what country you want to you're from. Say whether you're an accredited investor, because yeah, they have to work through some different filings with the SEC. And again, that's something we're not used to in the crypto space, is people actually filing with the SEC. So again, this would be a safer play on that side of things. And then it'll take
Yeah.
you over to this website and you just put in your email and then it's going to just kind of be waiting. Is that how it's going to be, waiting for a while, or you can give your money right now?
Yeah, you could give it right away. You invest, and then we issue the security tokens to you right away into your
Okay.
address.
Okay, very cool. And then you mentioned it earlier, but when do you expect maybe like the first dividends to start coming in for investors?
Uh, we estimate ROI in a year, so the dividends is a year, the first quarter after the year.
Okay. All right. Very cool. So again, this would not be a short-term passive income play like some of the projects. This would be, hey, this is a company that's doing something. We talked about they have several revenue streams. They already have a lot of restaurants signed up that are willing to do this. So this would be more of a, hey, long-term play with that year ROI, and then start getting dividends after that. So
Yeah.
very, very cool. Is there anything else that you'd really like to talk about that you feel like we didn't touch on? So this was a little bit easier than a lot of AMAs because you have everything so nicely laid out here in your presentation. But
Thank
anything
you.
that you feel like we missed that you want to touch on more?
I mean, we're always open to partnerships, like crypto projects, companies that want to partner with us, that are looking for, I guess, extra real world use case or extra revenue streams outside of what they're doing. Just come partner with us, invest in ACC, and we could be your other source of revenue. I think that's what we're trying to get that message across also to companies.
Okay, very cool. What do you feel like are the biggest risks to investors, or what are some things that you think, oh, this might not work out quite the way we plan, and this could be a problem down the road? What do you think those risks are?
Well, we mitigate the risk by first taking a year and a half talking to CEOs of these companies, talking to governments, trying to refine the business model. This is what we came up with as that would benefit everybody. I mean, there are risks in any investment, but we actually, plan for it. We actually came up with a business model that actually works.
Okay, very cool. Well, hey, very well done, well put together. Nice. Again, this reminds me less of my crypto investments and more of back. I used to do a lot of venture capital and angel investing, and this reminds me a lot more of that, just with how well put together everything is, and the structure of even the presentation. So nice job on that. Does anybody in the audience, do you have any other questions that you'd like Hung to kind of clarify on? Again, I think everything's pretty straightforward. Do you have a Discord and Telegram group that if people have more questions, what's the best way to kind of get those answered, or potential partnerships?
They could email me at hello@awesomecontainer.com for the crypto company. Yeah, we will have a Discord this week. We're setting that up right now. Usually, for us, Discord is new to me, so usually my I come from a Web 2 background, so it's usually emails or
Yeah, nope, I hear you. Yep, that's here's Emil wants to know, when is the pre-sale? So again, this is not like a traditional crypto. I think you can invest already, so it's already open to investments. So again, just on the website, you're just going to go to that investment, uh, invest, and I'll put the link here below if you want to just click right to it. But you can get going right away. So very cool. Any other questions from the audience? Funny Turo, thanks for joining us. And by the way, if you're just hopping
yeah.
on, you missed the beginning, feel free. The replay will be available right when we're done here. And so you can watch from the beginning. Mr. Bean says, can you explain the Constellation Partnership a bit more? Are you building on their network? Do you want to dive into that just a little bit more? You still there, Hung? We
Yeah,
got
so all
okay,
our
sorry.
software is going to be built on the Constellation blockchain with their Hypercube. The reason why it's just the amount of data that we will need. Hello.
Yeah, I can still hear you okay. I think we're having a little bit of internet troubles, but yeah, I think you're coming through okay still.
Hello?
Can you hear me? I can hear you okay. Audience, are you guys able to hear Hung okay?
Yeah. I think yeah, I think we're frozen.
Yeah, we're kind of freezing and unfreezing. A
Yeah, I
couple of
hear
these
you, but you're jumping in and out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, a couple of these questions I
Yeah.
can go ahead and answer
Can you
maybe
guys
while
hear
we're
me
waiting
okay?
for the internet to kind of come back. But are you looking to expand beyond Asia? And he talked about that. Yeah, they're starting in Southeast Asia and then looking to maybe go to Europe next, and then the US with their tricky pricing and regulations, they'll probably be the last. Since this is a traditional investment route, do I need to be accredited? No, you don't. So they have crowdfunding that they're doing. So again, just go to that same invest link, and you don't need to be accredited to get in. Again, how you invest is that link that we put in here. I'll put it one last time here, and you can get in there. Um, Emil wants to know if working with sustainable development in Denmark, I love this project. Is there a cap on the retail investment?
For non-accredited investors, you mean?
Or maybe just like total? Is there like a total cap? And a limit to how much one person can invest, I guess. So kind of maybe both.
Yeah, for accredited, it's unlimited. They accredited investors. It's anyone with that makes $200,000 a year or more, or as a family, $300,000, or they have 1 million in assets. For non-accredited, there is a limit. It's going to be 5,000 per person for non-accredited investors.
Okay. And then how'd you get to your company valuation of $20 million?
Yeah, so we based it on our contracts, 1,200 companies. These are multi-chain companies, which is equivalent to about 200,000, 250,000 restaurant locations and grocery relocations all through Asia. So when we fully onboard those, the revenue stream will be upwards of 200 million per year if we onboard those. But we really can't ask for a 2 million evaluation, so we settled on a 20 million at 1 million raise.
Okay. And then, so this is a good question. So I'm kind of a spreadsheet guy, and so like to try to get as many numbers as I can to put into my
Yeah.
spreadsheets. But AJ wants to know how much ROI is expected. So you mentioned a year to kind of get to ROI. How should people think about this? Of like what potential they could make on their amount invested, or how much they might be making, per year after that ROI, or how should people kind of think about what they might make from this investment?
Well, yeah, I can't give you exact numbers, but because I will get in trouble from the FTC for that. Uh, Once we make our first raise, we close. Onboarding 1,200 companies is not a $1 million raise. We will need extra capital to onboard everything. Initially, we wanted to do a 10 million raise, but I think that that's going to be a really hard goal to achieve in this market. So that's why we're doing 1 million. And after that, we're gonna launch our company, and then after we launch our company, we will do another raise to try to get to that 10 million. That being said, I mean, early investors now, once we start that investment, your shares will essentially 5x already. So if you choose to hold, then you'll get extra dividends. If you don't, you could sell it at a 5x return if you want.
Okay.
So that's one way to do it. ROI, it just depends on how much you invest. I mean, we can't really predict the first 2 years. We're just going to be onboarding and expanding. We're not really trying to grow the company and not really worried about so much profits.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like if you don't meet your full raise, your 10 million that you're looking for, you can kind of just start smaller and then kind of bootstrap the rest? Is that kind of your plan? If you don't quite, get to that 10 million that you're needing for to jump fully in?
Yeah, so the first raise is 1 million. That's targeted for 100 companies. We try to do that within 6 months. But if we can't raise that 1 million, we could either go to market with less 30 companies, 250,000. We can do. That's what we're planning to do, We're not going to wait for the 1 million to raise before we go to market. Our strategy is go to market, get the cash flow positive so we don't run out of runway.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's a great strategy. You raise what you can, then you just get going with what you can, and then and as you prove the model, you probably wouldn't have trouble raising capital once the model's
Yeah.
proven too. I think you'll have a lot easier time raising capital at that point if you need to. So I think
Yeah.
that's a smart way of going about it.
Plus, we have
So
customers already signed on. So once we launch, we'll be revenue generating on day one with the subscription models. Uh, the advertising we could kick in once we hit however much households we predict. I mean, in the beginning, we can't really charge that much for the advertising, but once we hit the millions of households per week, we could that revenue is going to go really substantially up. So we're
okay.
not really relying on just subscription alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, awesome job. Awesome job finding a problem that you had yourself and then building a solution for it. Again, I think that's how the best companies in the world start is when there's a problem that that person themselves have. They're like, I need a
Yeah.
solution for that. Here's what it is. And I applaud you too for realizing that not just the environmental aspect is that's not gonna be enough for businesses to change everything they do um, because they're still looking at the bottom line. So, really
Yeah.
great project. I think you've done a really great job putting this together.
Yeah.
A couple more questions people have. Mr. Bean wants to know: are there any competitors in Asia that you know of? I know there's something similar in the U.S. called Deliver Zero. Do you want to talk about the competitors a little bit?
In Asia, not yet. Deliver Zero is a New York based company. What they do is they actually they're right there. They're our competitors. Uh, I guess distant competitors. They're a little different. They offer reusable plastic containers. Their model is a little different, and they only deliver to restaurants subscribe to their platform. So that totally really limits the amount of restaurants that can onboard with them. We actually don't do that. We just because their main competitor is Uber, and if Uber decides to do that, they'll totally be gone, crushed. We don't rely on we don't do on demand pickup and delivery with food. So we're not a food delivery service like Deliver Zero. We are just the back end supply chain for the restaurants.
Okay. Nope. I think that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, this is a good page that kind of talks about competitors and just kind of the difference between them. So let me go ahead and post a link to again. This was in the white paper here. So yeah, go check that out for sure. And then Funny Turo wants to know from your VC days, does this company check all the boxes or are they still in their infancy? So, I mean, it's still very early. So again, this would be an example of a long-term play that it's higher risk because we are very early, but very high reward. Like Hung was talking about, you could 5x by just getting in at this valuation, and then if they just get going a little bit, I think that valuation will probably go up based on the contracts that they have. But it is still, it would be a safer investment if they were already going and, the revenue stream was already coming in, but then you wouldn't have the potential for the gain as much. They'd be asking for the two. If they had the revenue that they're planning on having, they would have a $200 million valuation. And so then you wouldn't be able to get in and there wouldn't be a lot of money to be made from an equity side of things if they were already really high. So it's always that risk reward ratio getting early, and you have potential to make a lot of money, but it is a little riskier. Or you could wait and you won't get as good of a valuation, but it'll be a little safer. They'll be closer to their revenue stream. So again, it's just how you think about it and how it fits into your risk reward profile. So that's kind of my thinking on it.
Yeah, I mean, normally these kind of companies like ours only reserved for institutional investors and VCs. They're usually not available for retail investors until they IPO or whatnot. So it's your chance to get in early on a tech company that's changing the world.
Yeah, nope, absolutely. And who just wants to know why not go public or an IPO? And that's something that you would do way down the line. That's going to
Yeah.
cost a lot of money to go public. Costs a lot of money, high six figures at least. So
Yeah.
that's something that you might do way later down the line once you've proven the model and you really want to open up to crowdfunding. Then that might be something. Is that something you're thinking about down the road potentially?
Well, the idea is I want ACC to be 100% community owned through multiple DAOs. So not VC owned or just the whole community, regular retail investors, everyone owns it. The way we want to structure the DAOs are the co-op LLCs. Um, so that way, not one person can own more than 50% of the company and try to do a takeover. So and we're working with a Utah company called Upside Down. They're gonna manage, set up, register everything, and then users, I mean customers, community could get in that way, join the DAOs. The DAOs would be structured like like corporate departments, but our DAOs for ACC would be like for the marketing department. It'll be a marketing DAO, and then management DAO, sales DAO, and then acts as the executive branch, management branch, if you will. They plan the future of the company, but they don't really run the day to day because DAOs are not, really good for day to day operations where things change really quick.
Yeah,
So yeah,
nope, totally agree with that. So, yeah, and I think this is a great project. If you've been in crypto and you're kind of wanting to, dip your toes into like the venture capital side of things, this is a really great way to do it because it has a lot of the feeling of a venture capital deal, but it's still open to, crowdfunding or to you as a non-institutional investor. So this would be a great way to learn about that process, learn how equity kind of works. That's a great question. Why not go public or an IPO? And you can kind of learn about. Well, that's you lose a lot of control when you go that direction. It costs a ton of money to get that going, and so this is a great educational way for crypto people to kind of get into venture capital also. So I really like that. And then we mentioned this earlier, but for folks in the U.S., it will ask you if you are a accredited investor, but you can still get in if you're not. You just click no, and then
yeah,
still just put in your email, and you can still get in. So yeah, don't worry about on that side of things. So okay, well, hey, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up there, unless you have anything else that you want to add. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up there. Do you have any last words or thoughts for us before we hop off?
no, I think we're good. We got our point across. Hopefully, the community will support us in our vision.
Yep, totally agree. So yeah, if you're in the audience, please do hit the like button here on our way out. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out to Hung. It's hello at awesomecontainer.com. The Discord group should be available here in the near future. So then there'll be kind of a community, and that'll be a place to ask and answer questions also. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, audience, we couldn't do these AMAs if it wasn't for you. So appreciate you guys coming. And Hung, thanks for being here. Thanks for working with. I scheduled the wrong time, and he was gracious enough to work with my blunder. So Hung, I appreciate that. And let
Thank
me
you.
know if there's anything
Thank
I
you.
can do to help you out as you're going forward.
Yeah, the community could also contact me through Twitter, underscore ventures. If you could link that also, and
Yes,
just
absolutely.
follow us for updates on the Discord or any other new updates we have.
Yeah, that's a great way. Just follow on Twitter, active Twitter account. And so, yeah, follow on Twitter. I'll post a link to that. Here we go. And then when the Discord community is ready, that'll be on the Twitter account and new announcements as things just continue to move forward. So definitely give them a follow on there. So, all right. Well, Hung, hey, I appreciate you coming on, man. And just again, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. And everybody, I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.